Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Low Rollers Live Dungeons & Dragons live adventure. My name is Danny Allinson and as always I will be your host for tonight, also playing the role of Bryn Wanders. With me here, Jonathan Edwards playing the role of Narroth, Prince of Thieves.
Hello.
Danny Garcia playing Astor Mithlader.
Hello.
Rachael Murphy playing Iskrim Berazon.
Hi friends.
We have Seymour playing Lady Lilith von Kiln.
Howdy.
Robert Seitz as Zarrius, servant of Obad-hai.
Good evening.
And of course our illustrious dungeon master, Christopher Rondeau. Chris, why don't you get us caught up with what happened last week?
First, I would like to say Happy National Workplace Napping Day, which is coincidentally the day after Daylight Savings Time. I feel like I should share that information.
I thought that was every day.
Only at your workplace.
Yeah.
That's your one.
Oh.
But let us get started. The scene this evening opens up not necessarily with a picture, but a sound. The sound of war drums and a mobilizing city begins as our heroes begin to regroup themselves. The smell is intoxicating as you have the new and old deceased bodies beginning to rise around the city. We have Lady Lilith von Kiln applying her healing magic to two of the recently deceased civilians, while Bryn and Narroth head out to other parts of the city to take care of the oldly deceased people. At this point, the Flaming Furnace Trio will beckon the party, yelling, "We need to head to the lake now. We need to grab your stuff and we need to leave now." While Lilith and I believe Astor was looking at the dead, that gives Zarrius and Iskrim, I'll give them the first time to act, I guess, in this little scene.
Okay, so one more time. So the fire did honestly say we need to go now. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to listen to the fire genasi and suggest to everyone that we need to go with them.
And we can have this scene as Lilith is finishing up her healing and Bryn and Narroth are coming back.
So I kind of yell that out to everyone, and I start going with the fire genasi, whichever way they were heading. I don't know where that is on the map if you want to play that out.
They are heading back to the inn to grab their equipment.
Gotcha. I follow them.
How far is the inn from the lake?
From the lake you were fighting at is literally like 100 feet. It's not that far.
Okay, so I say I can only bring one, and who's the closest to me?
Astor, technically.
And Astor has all this stuff, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have all their stuff?
That would be me. I think I'm the only one.
Okay, so me and Iskrim, I run over to Iskrim real quick and dimension door back to the inn to get our stuff.
Okay, so you take the few minutes to don everything. The fire genasi is there as well. Flaming Furnace Trio. As a reminder, there is Rachael and Benny. And they begin to beckon the party to... They're heading towards where the forces are mobilizing. Towards the south, to the road that's going to head outside the city.
So, has the rest of the group caught up now?
Yes, I said that.
Okay, so are we following these guys?
Astor's on his way.
I'm assuming Bryn and Narroth are going to be flying that in that direction. following the lake and the river.
That is an assumption.
I would also assume that, one more eloquently than the other.
I would be going along behind them.
Okay, so you guys begin to head outside the city, and right now you're seeing forces and forces of a combination of fire genasi, water genasi, and tieflings. They are, a lot of these people are well-groomed and maked up, if they're female, are wearing lots of makeup for the festivities, but that doesn't change their physical appearance, their prowess, their elegance, their strength, as they began to don swords, axes, maces, bows, and arrows. Even the magic users are casting spells like mage armor and stone skin and doing whatever it takes to prep. And the military force of this town, while it has no symmetry, there isn't like footmen's or cavalry, anything like that. These people are well armed and they hold themselves and their weapons with confidence as they begin to march. We see the Flaming Furnace trio standing right outside the gate as everyone begins to catch up and waving a hand to Bryn and Narroth to catch their attention. Outside of this town is a teleportation circle.
Bryn will just kind of yell down to them. What exactly is going on?
We don't know too much, but the forces that have placed themselves at the lake to oversee the ceremony has said that the dead has been rising from the lake. We need to mobilize and see if we can take care of the issue. Unless you guys aren't the fighters I thought you were. I mean, we can go on our own.
No, we're not going. I tell Narroth to come within my range, and I cast aid on Narroth, Isgrim, and myself.
Can you remind us what that does?
Your maximum hit points increase by 5 for the duration, and your current hit points increase by 5. So here, I'll just...
All right, that looks good. Narroth and Bryn are going to dive towards the teleportation circle.
Cool. Let me describe this teleportation circle a little bit. Normally, for those of you who are a little higher up by family name, so Lilith and probably Bryn wanders ever so slightly, rich people have teleportation circles, and most of the time it is embedded into stone or some sort of permanent structure. This particular teleportation circle appears to be on wood, which is fairly unusual, and it appears to be like a makeshift little podium that's set up. So, and you would imagine that the other side is very similar. For some reason, these people have figured out how to make portable teleportation circles, so you can keep that in mind as well.
That's cool. So, do I know how a teleportation circle works?
Yeah, pretty much. You just walk on it. Someone will utter an incantation, and then you'll arrive on their side.
Okay, so I say to the rest of the people, coming?
Iskrim boldly stands behind Lilith.
Narroth is going to walk on the podium with the twist of his ring. You can see his scales hardened to stone.
Astor bumps his fists together and he says, "I'm ready."
Bryn flies into the side of the podium and then scrambles up and onto the teleportation circle.
That's a mental image.
I do like flips and acrobatics into the circle.
Show
Okay.
off.
Astor swats you off. I'm just kidding.
Show off.
And with that, you see a water genasi wearing very royal robes of some sort. This is clearly or Isgrim would definitely recognize this as an employee of the city government. You know, probably a city mage of some sort based on the attire. This person mutters a quick incantation, and you guys arrive on the other side, feeling kind of sick, kind of queasy. But as you enter, you see chaos. Just the sound of war and battles and legions upon legions of undead going on just around you. They seem to be taking extra care to make sure that these undead swarms do not hit the teleportation circle.
Okay. Does I look around trying to find somebody in charge.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception.
And I have advantage on that.
Cool. So you do see a few, I would call them like military leaders. They appear to be, sitting at the front helping lead some of the men, but there are two other people who catch your attention more. And I think they catch your attention based on the fact that both of them are wearing crowns.
Okay, so I motion Astor and Isgrim to follow. And I approach them.
Astor follows.
Isgrim tightens his grip on his axe and his shield and follows behind.
Cool. What you see is a fire genasi and a water genasi. This fire genasi male seems to have this greatsword on his back, and as he wields it against the undead enemy, it sheaths in fire and blinding light comes out of it. Would be King Roland Steiner. Next to him is his wife, a water genasi, with a wand out, and tidal waves are coming out from her forearm to help push the undead back into the water. And we'll recognize this as Queen Krillik Steiner.
Okay. Is there a clear path between us and the King and Queen?
Not a clear path, but you can get there.
Okay, so as I go, I pull my my armor is now my armor again. Holy symbol blazing. I summon the flame tongue of my rod, and I say, "All right, let's clear us a path," and we make our way towards the King and Queen.
Okay, what's everyone else doing?
I think Narroth is going to look to Bryn, nod, and basically jump up into the air and then have his wings take him the rest of the way, hovering over the battlefield in order to survey points in which we can find lots of places to, use our destructive power.
What is the duration of that spell?
I'll look that up now.
Perfect.
She's just chasing after Narroth.
10
Perfect.
minutes.
10 minutes? You're probably at the tail end of that. As in, you probably shouldn't be flying around.
Okay. Can I have like a number of minutes?
Like 30 seconds?
Oh,
You-
okay. I'd like to cancel that and not fly.
Perfect.
Is there? What's the terrain like? Is there any high ground that we could get to?
Potentially, yeah, but it's gonna separate you from your party. If that is your aim.
I'll stay here for now, but I'll be looking for higher ground.
Perfect. Yeah, there are a couple cliff sides from the water. Looking down into the water. Is Bryn following?
Is Narroth actually going somewhere?
I'm not moving anywhere. I'm just kind of looking around.
Okay. And then what about Zarrius?
I think he would stick next to Bryn just because he trusts her and doesn't want to get himself in trouble, I guess. Or get himself hurt. I think probably more so. So wherever Bryn is ending up going, I think he would probably tag along.
Cool. The Flaming Furnace trio is going to be leading Lilith, Iskrim, and Astor to the King and Queen. Probably having the same idea Lilith did. And weapons out, and in their full, I don't want to say confidence, but in their... Well, we'll go with the word confidence. Confidence, they are going forward, dodging people who attempt to attack them or slaying them, depending on which one it is, and they arrive at the side of King Grollensteiner.
Your Majesties, where would we best suit you? My name is Lady Lilith von Kiln. I was in town along with my party for the festival.
Upon hearing your voice, they turn around, they look at the three of you with a little bit of surprise, not necessarily expecting to see a human, a half-elf, and a dwarf. Oh my. And briefly, Queen Krillik Steiner takes a spell, Water Sphere, if you're aware of it, and takes it and sort of pushes the undead back a little bit into this orb of water, just to create a brief break in the fighting, while King Grolin calls people on him to help sort of push the fighting away from them for the briefest of moment. Yes, hi, Lady Lilith. I'm sure we'll have interesting discussions later, but we need to... Something is happening. If you look out towards the center of the lake, there's someone there. And we're assuming that is what is the issue. But we don't know who we can send out there currently.
I turn to Narroth. Do we not have something of water walking?
Narroth is not there.
Or Astor? Don't we have something of water walking?
Well, not on me, but I'm fairly certain Zarrius? No, Narroth has it.
Real quick, I hate to burn the spell, but it's the only way I know how to get it there fast enough. I mutter a small incantation under my breath and send a message to Narroth to have them join us at the King and Queen.
Narroth will get the message, gather the rest of the party, and forge ahead.
Yes, we can provide a boat and some cover, but we're not exactly equipped to go into the middle of the ocean at this moment, or the lake.
Just give us a boat, and we'll see what we can do.
Does any of you guys know how to drive and row a boat? Rachael and Benny will kind of nod briefly. It's like, we can do it. That's easy.
Shall we be off?
Has Narroth and them arrived yet?
Sure.
I introduced them real quick to the King and Queen. This is the rest of our companions. We will attempt to make our way to the middle of the lake. Just hold out for as long as possible.
We can provide you archer support to a degree, but you're on your own from there on out. And then once we can get more ships here, we can support you a little more. It's up to you. Do you want to stay here and wait for a couple hours, or do you think you guys can act now?
No, we'll. I look at the group. We can handle this, right?
I'd rather less people die.
I would like to look out at the figure that they were speaking of.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll perception.
Alright, I'm using my glasses. Which means I rolled a 4.
Does that give you advantage, or just means you can see far?
I have disadvantage because of exhaustion. So it cancels out, is what I'm saying.
You know there's a figure there.
Okay. How big is it? Can I tell that? Or it's just like...
It's medium humanoid size. Okay. He also appears to be floating.
Interesting.
Over the...
I pull out my spyglass and try to see what I can see.
You're not going to be able to see further than the magic item. So you can also get the same thing. He's about medium size, and he appears to be floating over the water.
How far up is he floating?
Like 10 feet.
How far out is he floating?
The lake is pretty big. He is like 2 miles out.
Oh, okay.
This is a substantial trip you're gonna make.
Okay.
Just for reference, the lake is so big you can't actually see across it. Like, if you didn't know any better, you would think this is the ocean.
Okay. Is there like storms or winds or anything of that nature on the lake? Or is they just like undead walking on the lake?
So it appears that these undead are crawling out of it. Does that make sense? So they're not walking on top of the water, they're coming out of the water.
Okay.
Go all Pirates of the Caribbean if you like.
Okay, so once we get out a ways, we won't have to worry about them.
Potentially. I mean, they can still swim, hypothetically.
Okay. I say we go now. Don't let this guy get more undead to his side.
I agree.
Bryn looks to Zarrius.
Let's go.
Bryn will now look to the flaming furnace trio. Are you guys good on the water?
We've been out on Lake Lacarum since we were kids. I wouldn't say we could sail the high seas, but the lake easy enough. We're familiar with its currents and the way it runs.
No, I meant...
Iskrim chuckles a little and says, I think she is worried about the fact that you are fire genasi and this is a lake full of water.
Yeah, what he said.
Oh. DM did not think about that. But, fire genasi can in fact swim. When they go underwater, when they take showers or that sort of thing. The fire extinguishes and it's very smoky, but it re-extinguishes as soon as they're dry. But they... Sorry?
Do you mean reignites?
Yes, reignite.
Retinguishes.
But, obviously we probably don't want them to be in the lake for an extended period of time. Underwater, that is.
Then let's go.
King Grolensteiner will point out a direction. There's a boat on the beach there. It should be well guarded at this point. All I have to do is push it into the water and you'll be set. It's not a very big boat, but I think speed is more important than size.
Just keep them out of your town, and we'll hopefully take him down.
As you say that, an undead monster comes and leaps at him, and he takes out his great sword without even really looking at the target and slashes it down, and this monster falls with a deep, deep slash across his chest. We'll do our best. I'm more worried about endurance. These guys aren't very tough, but there's a lot of them.
I really quickly say, may the blessing of Arathis be upon you this day. And I hit my holy symbol, and it glows a little bit. And I'm not, like actually casting a spell, but I'm just like giving them a blessing.
Sure. So they get, I don't want to say absorbed. They don't absorb the light, but the light radiates off them for the briefest of moments, and they nod and they go back to fighting. And as you begin to see them go off into the distance, and as you guys move the other direction, the light persists.
Let's go kill us a fucker.
Well, they're technically already dead, but let's do it.
He might not be, but let's go kill him anyway.
So when they get to the boat, Iskrim is going to get in the front, and he's going to bring his shield up so that he can guard the front of the boat using his shield.
Sure. So you guys walk a little bit. The boat isn't terribly far. It's between the real issue is getting to the boat between all the people, and there's pretty heavy fighting at this point. At this point, I'm going to change the music. And we are going to roll some initiative.
Oh, no.
Oh boy. Skill challenge, boys and girls. Yay, I get a 22.
Hey!
And you will never get a nat 20 ever again.
Who are we
Oh,
missing?
that's not true.
Oh, there we go.
So what do we get for Rachael and Benny being tagged along.
Cool. So this isn't a normal skills challenge in the terms of successes and failures. This basically is we are going to have 12 skills. Everyone will go twice according to the turn order. And if you fail, something's going to happen to you that's going to negatively affect you in the upcoming basically the rest of the session. So keep that in mind. As a heads up, it is most likely going to be damage unless I could think of something exceptionally creative. But everyone will go twice, and we will see what happens. Rachael and Benny will basically be driving the boats. They will be in charge of maneuvering in any shape or form, doing the complex calls or anything like that. So what they will do is they will allow a reroll on any sort of physical skill check, thinking of like athletics or acrobatics, or if you can make something up that is clever, like a stealth roll where the maneuvering the boat may benefit you in some way. I will allow that as well. And they will allow one reroll off that. With that being said, I believe Zarrius is already bloodied, so we should keep that in mind as we go ahead. But you guys jump on the boat. I'm with some of our stronger characters like Astor and the Flaming Furnace Trio. The boat is pushed off. Eastgrim is at the front with his shield. And we begin the trek. It's some ideas for the cinematic nature. You can have, any sort of creatures beginning to climb onto the boat of some sort, or anything to that effect. It could be currents that you're trying to fight. You be creative. Start off with Lilith.
Okay, so as we're close to the shore, and we're pushing the boat out into the water, undead start to creep towards us. So I hold my holy symbol aloft and channel divinity, and I want to roll religion.
Cool, roll it.
Can I use my wisdom instead of my intelligence?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So add 3, 4. Add 5 to this roll. I can get it to roll. There it goes.
Yeah, so a 21 will do it. You hold up your holy symbol, and it keeps them at bay for a little bit as you are traveling.
Actually, that's a 26.
Sure, I mean, same outcome. Brings us to Bryn.
Okay. Bryn is probably in the back of the boat. That would make the most sense for her to be in. And she is going to use survival basically to try to steady the boat, and keep an eye on any sort of tides that are coming in and out and counterbalance anything that might be happening. We good on that?
Yes, survival work.
Okay, I do have a disadvantage.
So for Bryn, sitting on that side of the boat probably wasn't the best idea. Being maybe towards the center would be better, considering that zombie folks are climbing over the sides, including the back, which means she's gonna get swiped at for a little bit of damage. For 11 damage.
Okay.
Iskrim.
Okay. So, as creatures are coming towards us, they're throwing rocks at us that they picked up from the bottom of the lake as they rose up from it. And Iskrim is trying to use his shield to block those, as well as if any of them put their hand close to the boat or their face close to the boat, he will literally bash them in the face with his shield, and he's using athletics to do this.
Sure, that makes sense. I'm picturing that he's starting to get a little swarmed, where the shield is just simply not big enough to be able to do that. But instead of letting the creature onto the boat, he kind of puts his full weight towards the front of it, and maybe slips off a little bit, but he's hanging on the handrails, which may also give an opportunity to someone else to do something. But he would also take some damage. 6. Zarrius, you're locked out of athletics.
Okay, so what I would like to do is the party has seen that look that I get in my eyes when I go to meet Asmodeus, and it's not the previous look. And so what's going to happen is that look is going to come across Zarrius's face, and he's going to start swinging at his party members and like pretending to hit them. So he would like to use deception to try and pull that off. Nothing's happening.
How does this help your objective?
What I was hoping to do with this was kind of make it look like we're not actually trying to fight off these guys per se, and that like I was part of them, and so that they kind of be like, oh, okay, he's got them taken care of, sort of thing.
This is a bad idea.
Yeah, they're zombies, man. They have no brains.
Yeah, sorry.
Except the ones they eat. You are what you eat, after all.
That is true.
That's your one.
How is that a reference?
See, a reference would be to the song, all we want to do is eat your brains.
That's your
Don't worry,
one.
we don't want to
That's
eat
your
your
one.
eyes. Worth
Okay.
it.
So then can I do something else then?
Yes.
Okay. What you're going to see Zarrius do is he's going to start meditating in his meditative state, and he's going to start making moves, and he would like to do this very well, so he's going to try and concentrate and do it.
Sure, I'll allow it. A good use of a concentration check.
Danny.
Yeah, there you go. That works. That takes us to Astor.
Can you remind me how things look like for Iskrim again?
She's trying, or he is trying to climb up the side of the boat still. He has been pushed off based on his position towards the front of the ship. So he probably needs some help getting up, or maybe he can do it on his turn.
Well, here's what Astor's going to do then. Astor's going to go up towards Iskrim. He's going to give out his hand, pull Iskrim up, and as he's doing that, there's probably an undead trying to reach up to them, and he's just going to kick him off the side of the boat.
Using
His leg?
skill.
Oh, sorry, athletics. My apologies.
Sure, that does it. I hate you. So you get Iskrim back up and successfully use your leg to kick a zombie. which will take us to Narroth.
All right. Tell me if this is going too much with my spell, but Narroth is going to reach his hand into the water around them. Now, usually he can control fire just by kind of tuning into that element of himself. However, this time he's going to try to control water as best he can, trying to give them a little bit of a current to let them go faster, hopefully faster than the zombies that are chasing them. Could I do a spell casting roll for to have a control water kind of thing?
So you can do an Arcana check using your charisma instead of your intellect.
Okay.
Whatever that bonus looks like. Yeah, so you can control water and sort of both kind of help the boat along and then hopefully negate some of the creatures coming on top of the boat. Lilith, you are locked out of religion and Arcana.
Okay. So then... You know what? This is also going to be a good use of concentration. I said, enough! I'm tired of these undead, and I cast Odaluk's Resilient Sphere around the boat, pushing all the undead back. And I want to concentrate on the spell because it's a concentration spell.
Can that go that big?
Hold on here. I'll cast it. I think it's a 10 feet. So, I mean, depends on how big the boat is.
It says a large size or smaller, which is not going to be big enough to hold the boat. But I'll allow it for cinematics.
Okay. So, I'm like, I'm tired of this. And I cast the sphere, pushing the undead back.
Yeah, so you're able to get that, and you're able to concentrate on a little while for approximately a minute. But that is not enough. You can't keep that up for the entire ride. But I think that's enough to basically everyone kind of get their bearings again. Bryn.
Okay. After that, and once the undead start coming on, or start trying to come onto the boat again, Bryn is going to... I'm assuming there's probably some rope in the boat. Is that correct?
That'd be a fair guess.
Okay. I'm actually going to start to try to basically tie the hands of the undead together so that they can't hold on to the boat or they can't move their arms, and so that they fall back into the water using sleight of hand.
Alright, I'll allow this.
This is good.
And that's an exact amount to be a success.
And then as they fall back into the water, I'll lean over the side and wave bye-bye.
Exhaustedly.
Exhaustedly.
You scream, you're locked out of sleight of hand athletics.
Oh yeah, because, well, athletics, yeah, but sleight of hand. All right, so after realizing there are more of these things than he initially saw coming at the boat, Iskrim is basically gearing himself up for a long haul, and he's going to use endurance to basically make sure that his movements don't waste energy and that he can keep up trying to block as many projectiles and things from getting on the boat as possible. So he's going to use endurance.
That's fine. That'll do.
Nice. That's why she's a barbarian.
Perfect. So, after being helped up from Astor, you kind of grit your teeth and, like, take that deep breath and you set yourself up back at the front of the boat with new vigor and with anger and frustration in your eyes. Zarrius, you're locked out of concentration and endurance. I'm surprised we managed to use both of those skills in a skills challenge. That makes me happy.
We used concentration twice.
That's true.
So I would like to do a quote-unquote like dash action on my turn. So on my turn, I'd like to dash, but what you end up seeing Zarrius do is he's going to run out on the water. And as he's doing that, he's kind of riding the waves of that the boat is creating, the slight little waves, and jumping up and doing like spin kick moves while he's doing it, and taking out the guys as he is spinning around. So he'd like to do acrobatics.
So that's right, you can walk on water if you're continuously moving. Oh, that's cool.
I have the ring of water walking, so
you have it. Perfect.
Yes, I do. So that's why. So I'm going to roll acrobatics, and I would like to use an inspiration point if possible.
That's perfect. That's acceptable. Reroll. You also have the reroll from the Flaming Furnace tree.
I'd like to use that, if possible.
We only have 3 skills left, so go ahead. I say.
And Zarrius is already bloodied. Go for it.
Oh God, he is.
There you go.
Much better.
Third time the charm. So you see Zarrius like in a moment of, I don't know if I want to call it inspiration or anything like that, but he jumps out and starts running across the water alongside the boat, and basically preventing people, certain creatures from coming in before they even realize that there's another target besides the actual boat. Astor.
Okay, so what Astor is going to do, I'm thinking this would work as a persuasion roll, but he is essentially going to use, well, he's going to speak to everyone on the boat while using the spell Calm Emotions to, keep them focused, just to make sure that nothing wavers their resolve for getting to their figure in the middle of the lake.
You want to use persuasion?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking would work.
Since it's a spell, you can also use Arcana with the Charisma as well.
Or because he's a bard, he could use performance.
I'll also allow performance.
Both persuasion and performance are plus 11, so I'll do performance just because. And I will expend the spell slot, I guess.
Dang it. Alright, you won't need to spend the spell slot for this one.
Oh, okay.
Same with Auto Luke's.
He's a bard. Of course he has a plus 11.
That'll do it.
Doesn't beat Kai's plus 14 stealth.
Yeah.
Still decrease everyone. Oh yeah, as I can imagine, this kind of coincides with Iskrim's endurance check and the concentration check, but I don't know, why don't you explain the casting of the spell? I don't think I've seen you cast this before.
Calm Emotions?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way Astor does this is you see him kind of move towards the center of the boat, and he just stands there and he begins to, I guess, orate rather passionately. And as he's speaking, you can see that his hands are glowing a light green color, as well as his I guess his neck area, we should say. And everyone that is within range of him, essentially, they can feel that their emotions are, that they're a bit, I guess, more solid. They're just feeling more reinforced. So it's not extremely showy, but you can tell that Astor's voice is affecting you somewhat emotionally.
Sounds good to me. That leads us to Narroth for the last check.
All right, so Narroth is looking around, seeing people giving speeches, casting spells, and running on water. And Narroth figures that the best way to get the boat from here to there is to actually row a little bit. So Narroth is going to take his turn at the oars and row with all his might. And I'm hoping to use an athletics check for that.
Sounds good to me. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that will do it.
He is a dragonborn.
That makes sense. So you're able to, with the help of the Flaming Furnace Trio, as well as yourself with everything else, you are able to get within 50 feet of the target. At this point, as you guys get close, you guys were so affixed on basically keeping alive and, afloat that you didn't really notice his presence as he started moving towards you to meet you in the water. He, around when you guys start to get close, you guys stop your oar speed as you realize that the undead are no longer focusing on you. They are leaving the boat alone briefly as this man approaches. This man is quite unusual. He has all the features of a fire genasi, the flaming hair, or the flame on top of his head, the black obsidian sort of skin tone, but on like his fingertips and his robe, it appears that he is consistently dripping water, much like the way the water genasi sort of flow throughout their basically whatever they do. There's a sense of water genasi elegance to his movement. It's very peculiar. And behind him, you see the moon staring back towards you. He is clearly undead.
Astor looks towards Lilith. Well, I guess I win.
Yep. So I shout to him, "Why have you summoned this army of undead?"
This creature looks to you and goes, "I didn't summon anything. I was summoned with them. I don't understand." This is not my doing. Leave me back to my eternal rest.
Who are you?
My name is Conrad. That was my name once. I created this lake.
You see Astor has a look of surprise on his face, and he says, "Oh, interesting."
Isn't he the hero that the festival is named after?
Well, the inn is named after him too.
I think it's just the end that it's named after.
Okay.
Are you lost? Do you know what's going on?
I feel compelled to destroy everything.
Real quick, Chris, because of my little knowledge of undead, can I roll something to try to figure out what kind of undead he is?
No.
Are you
This is void magic, so I'm going to say no.
are you fighting that compulsion?
I am, but I don't think I can for long. And Vienna, the town I was a part of, is going to be destroyed because of it.
Do you know where the source of this magic is?
He looks behind him towards the moon.
Okay. How do we get there?
I don't know.
It's the guy that we had the dreams about. He's doing this. Maybe if we put him back to his eternal rest, this will stop. I think I don't know this. This is just a wild guess. But hopefully, if we put him down, the rest will stop.
Whatever the case, we cannot deal with the source of the problem. We must deal with the symptoms instead.
Yes.
He pulls the staff from his back and goes, I'm sorry for this. Protect my people, and we're going to fade to black.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break just to gather ourselves before what I imagine is going to be a pretty rough battle. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be back in a few. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more Low Rollers Live. We just got into a small, and why don't you take it away, Chris?
Cool. So this combat's going to play a little differently than everything else because we have things that happen on Initiative 0. So Flaming Furnace Trio is not in this battle. They are below deck maneuvering the ship. The ship can be maneuvered about 20 feet from the point. So you can move 20 feet starting from this point in any given direction besides, we'll make it pretty obvious. It has to make sense. You can't do like a full 360 spin around or anything like that. But the ship will be on your side for the party to decide what to do at Initiative 0 specifically. With that being said, the party is going to have to keep track about who's on the boat and who is not on the boat, because we have things like water walking boots, we have flying spells, we have... I know we have a pair of winged boots somewhere, but I don't think anyone actually has it equipped. So we need to keep that in mind. Whenever we move the ship, I will physically copy and paste it to the new section of the map as decided by the party. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Of course. So let's be flexible when it comes to setting up this Initiative 0 boat move. It's going to be a little hard, just to keep that in mind. Let's roll initiative.
So I have a 16.
I got it.
I'm consistent with these initiative rolls.
I rolled surprisingly well today.
Top of the round, you see two figures to begin to climb your boat.
We got zombies too.
And they're on the initiative board and they will move on their turn. But we start off with Astor.
Cool. What Astor is going to do, well, as a bonus action, he's going to activate Blade Song first, just for a little boost. And what he's going to do is walk towards that. Sorry, are those guys climbing up? Not currently on the actual deck of the ship.
So at initiative, at the top of the round, they will have reached the side of it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So they are technically on the boat.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to activate Blade Song, and then he's going to cast this spell as a 4th level spell on everybody as he walks by them, just reassuring them, saying that we're going to kick their asses, and he's going to come over here.
Well, I don't think that hits everyone.
Why not?
I don't. What level spell do you do it?
4th.
Yeah, so you can hit 4 people.
No. Oh yeah, is it only one at a time at the beginning?
So yeah, level 1 you can touch 1 person. For each spell slot above level 2, you can target 1 additional person.
Ah, I guess technically then I could do it as a 5th level spell, which
Well,
I would like to. Yeah, I'll do that.
You could do it as a 4th level spell and hit, well, most of us.
Right, but I'm trying to hit as many as I can anyways. So I'll use it as a 5th level spell. I'll do it on Astor, Zarrius, Iskrim, Lilith, and Narroth.
Solid.
And he just preps for when the things come over.
So they initiate 3 temp HP every turn?
Yes.
Perfect.
And they're also immune to being frightened.
Perfect. Bryn.
Bryn is going to point Iskrim in the direction of the dude on the left. keep them off us. And then she'll get Narroth and Zarrius' attention and say, "We're on him," pointing to the big guy in the middle. Is he doing anything threatening right now?
Define threatening.
Is he casting something? Is he pointing at us? Is he moving towards us?
His staff is out, and it appears like he is about to cast something.
Okay. In that case, she will...
Also, as a heads up, he's about 10 feet off the ground, so he is, basically you can reach him if you're on the boat. If you're off the boat, you might have a little more trouble. For now, at least.
She's shooting anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That was a note for Zarrius.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm just checking one thing really quick. Okay. She'll take out her rifle then and shoot him once with the rifle.
That's good.
Alright, switching her rifle to her right hand, she will draw with her left, spinning her 6-shooter up and towards the target and firing twice.
The mage, correct?
The mage, yes. All of this is at the mage.
That hits. That definitively misses.
Okay, no worries.
As the bullets come off, you recognize
that misfires. Go ahead.
It does misfire. As the bullets are being shot towards the target, the bullet doesn't appear to be going through the target as you would normally expect from an unarmed target. It appears to be hit him and then fall off.
Interesting.
He has resistance because of stone skin.
Interesting.
That's going to start his turn. He is going to burn his 9th level spell immediately.
Excuse me?
Perfect.
He's got frickin' time stop. He's going to get 4 rounds of actions before we even get to go.
Okay, I'm going to attack everyone in the center with the spell. This is against your con defense.
Once again, that's 13 plus the defense or 14?
14 plus.
Okay.
This is against Lilith, Bryn, Narroth, Zarrius, and Iskrim.
Is it so 14 plus Constitution modifier, no proficiency or anything?
Do you have proficiency with con saving throws?
I do.
Then it adds that too.
Yeah, okay, I survive.
I have not been hit.
I'm the third one, is that correct?
You are the 4th one.
Okay, I'm hit. I'm hit.
Narroth is also hit.
Yeah.
You're gonna take 40 cold damage.
-3. Well, except for Bryn.
Is that half as much on a save?
On a save, yes.
Okay.
I'm bloodied.
Perfect.
I have resistance to cold damage, so is that a quarter of that for me?
That's correct.
Wow.
I'm bloodied.
This is not any sort of evasion that I could use, right?
No, because it attacked your con defense, not your dex defense.
Okay, then Zarrius is down.
This might be a good time to use that iron tortoise shell, Seitz. Just throwing that out there.
If it's under the effect of time stop, he can't.
No, because time stop works in this edition where as soon as he casts a spell that affects anyone other than himself, he time stop ends. So technically, this is his last action before. So he reappears and casts it. So you guys can react to it if you choose.
Okay.
Okay, well then I'm going to do Iron Penetrable Iron Tortoise
Perfect.
on myself.
Oof.
Cool.
Enough to keep you alive, though?
I was at exactly 0. I had 40 hit points, so...
Nice.
I hate to be the party pooper, but was he more than 30 feet in front of you?
Sorry?
Impenetrable Iron Tortoise Shell says it has to be...
I'm doing it on myself. I'm doing it
He's
on
doing it
myself.
on himself. So it has to be 30 feet of him, the ally, or himself.
The person who takes
Okay.
damage.
Sorry, I thought it was talking about the attack.
So, this guy comes forward and he sort of moves forward kind of with lightning speed, but it's kind of weird. It kind of like he teleported, and when he reappeared from this teleportation, you can see him that he is wreathed in fire and that there are 4 of them. And then he casts this spell and kind of breathes in, and much like Narroth's spells, he kind of breathed out, and just snow and ice began to pierce everything in front of you, leading us to Lilith.
Okay. Well, my turn's pretty simple. First, my action is this. That's on 6
Everyone.
creatures in a 30-foot radius. So that's everybody.
Wow. I'll take it.
And then my bonus action is I am going to it's going to be on this guy over here, the zombie dude. That's just as a level 2.
Can you cast 2 spells in the same turn?
Yes. Yes, I have a feat that allows me to do it.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, it's called Spell Driver.
Is that a 5th edition feat?
It's from the Taldore the Matt Mercer campaign guide.
We talked about this like 3 times.
Yeah, every time I do it, you ask, and I tell you the same thing.
Okay.
We'll put it right there. You can control the token.
Okay, cool. And I do get to attack him on this round?
I believe so.
Okay, so it is a spell attack.
That crits.
And it does 1d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier.
Times 2.
So 24 points of damage.
Nice.
And that's force damage, by the way.
Sure. What does the spiritual weapon look like?
It is a... Does Arathis have a preferred weapon?
Not really.
Okay, so then it is a mace, but instead of the mace, or a morning star, but instead of the morning star head looking like a spiked ball, it looks like my holy symbol.
The gear? Perfect.
The gear, yeah.
Cool. That brings us to Narroth.
Perfect. Narroth is going to take a step between Iskrim and Lilith, and he's going to place a hand on each. He's going to twin spell the spell protection from energy, and this is going to allow both of them to have resistance to fire damage. He's going to look at them and say, "Now's the time to bring out the dragon."
You got a descript or spell card for that?
If he don't, I do.
That's the description of the spell.
And that's on Lilith and who?
Lilith and Iskrim. They have protection from fire damage.
Perfect. End of turn?
Yep. No. Narroth is going to go down by Astor.
Cool. As a heads up, this is a good time to start burning everything. Iskrim.
Okay, so looking at the map, it looks like Zarrius, Lilith, and Bryn are going to feel the temperature get cold for a second, even colder than it already is, and then all of a sudden it's going to warm up as I rage, and they are within my aura. So while anyone I choose is within 10 feet of me, they are protected from cold. In the meantime, as I move, because I'm going to move towards one of the creatures, let me move my token. As they leave my aura, which I think is all three of them now, they'll feel the air get cold again. And I'm going to attack this particular creature.
That hits.
Don't forget to add rage damage.
Yeah, so add 3 damage to that, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my extra attack. Raising my pickaxe high, I swing, and does 13 hit?
Yeah, 13 hits this guy.
Sweet, so another 11 damage.
Bloodied.
And that will end Iskrim's turn.
Zarrius.
So what Zarrius is going to do is he's going to, as a bonus action... Wait a minute. Yes, as a bonus action, he's going to dash. So spend the key point to dash, and I should have enough. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'll have enough. I'm going to go move here, or wherever there, I guess. And I am going to attack that guy with my fist because I do not have Shillelagh activated yet. So he'll do a nice little 1-2 punch. Just one attack. It's 26 hit.
26 will hit.
All right. And then he's going to jump down onto the water and make a beeline for the guy, which I will have enough movement even if you drop me down however far it is, I believe.
Cool.
And I will punch him as well.
$11 will miss.
Yeah, that figures. And just so that I don't necessarily know what the Ring of Water does, but I guess I would have to probably keep on moving consistently.
No, so the water walking means you can actually just walk on the water.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay, cool.
It's as if the water was a solid surface.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Then I'll just stay there. And that will end my turn. I will throw my whip in the general direction of the guy. Hold on, let me pull that up for you.
Which guy?
The main guy.
Cool. It's not going to take any effect.
Okay. Sounds good.
This guy at the bottom is going to attack Astor twice.
First one will hit.
So 17 damage. This is bludgeoning. And then the guy on top is going to attack Iskrim twice. Oof. So Iskrim will take 17 plus 23, cut in half.
Maintaining concentration.
Makes sense. Oh, also, make sure you're counting your temp HP that Astor gave you.
And that I gave you.
Yeah, that already got burnt away, but Astor's,
Yeah,
that was helpful.
But it resets every time you take a turn.
Just so you
Both
know.
of them?
No,
Astor's.
just Astor's.
Mine does anyway.
There's a 3 temp HP every time the character that has that.
Got it. Got it, thank you.
Cool. Bottom of the round. Do you want the boat to move at all, or do you want to keep it there? You can move 20 feet from the point.
Spin it.
Spin it where? Cool. Yeah, it's gonna have to make an arc to do that.
I would say away from him. Right, Bryn?
It doesn't matter. I mean, I can hit him from here. I can hit him from back there.
Yeah, and Zarrius is up close, so I say we maybe go broadside.
I mean, we basically are broadsiding him right now.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. How about...
I mean, Astor would like to take a couple of swings at the guy.
Yeah, so we'll move 20 feet towards him, spinning the boat, not moving the boat.
Well, the boat will need to move because this boat can't spin.
Right. It's moving towards him, but
Where would it be moving in this direction-ish? Like the point of the boat, where would it be?
I was going to say more spinning, but yeah, cool.
Sorry, just takes time.
Works for me. I would like that.
At the top of the round. Two more appear.
Jeez.
Somehow Astor has the the highest initiative, so Astor.
Yeah. Alright, he's going to swing the shit out of the guy in front of him, so attack twice. I will add a second level Divine Smite to that.
Oh, they are undead.
Yes. Yeah, that was a terrible roll. Wow.
That was a shitty smite, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, let's see if he can redeem himself. Attack number 2. Probably not.
No. You can hear Dav facepalm in your mind.
Well, should we argue that technically Dav missed?
You could argue that.
It's a good
That
argument.
might stop working, so we're just... It was your
Astor-
fault.
Astor's not gonna say anything. Oh man. Okay, actually I think for now he'll end his turn there.
Bryn wanders.
The one directly behind. I'll just ping it. That guy. She's going to turn with her rifle and attempt to do this thing. They trick shot in the torso to knock him back.
That'll hit.
Okay, he gets pushed 10 feet. Then she will go ahead and cock the rifle again and shoot at the mage.
$16 will hit.
Okay, there's that damage. She's going to turn to Lilith and say, hey, could you handle that one right there? And move behind her. And then...
As she's going by, I say, stay within 5 feet of me.
Okay. I can't see the tiles behind, so I'm assuming that's 5 feet.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to try to clear a misfire.
Cool. I
Yes,
forgot
I got
to roll concentration. This is for the Zarrius attack. This is for the Bryn attack. So he's good. He is still flying. Or stone skin, sorry.
I did not clear my misfire.
Okay.
Kind of broken, isn't it?
No.
We changed the rules.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
too harsh. I just have to keep trying until I get it, basically.
Okay.
This guy is gonna walk up to Lilith and attack him twice.
Her.
Neither one hit.
Jesus. Well, they're ads. The fun guy's turn.
I'm a healer with a high AC. Yeah.
So you see lightning come out of his staff, and he's going to... It's 100 feet, so I can potentially get Zarrius, Lilith, and Bryn in this. So I'm going to attack your dex defense. So that means if I fail, evasion will work. Of course, you know, the character sheet is going to take forever to
14
roll.
seconds to roll.
Okay. Roll 20 has crashed.
What's he casting, I wonder?
I'm sure it's a nice spell that will heal us all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm totally positive it's not a lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Okay, the first one's at Zarrius. Second one's at Lilith. Third one's at Bryn.
No.
And this is against Dex defense?
Correct.
Well, that hits.
Why couldn't the third one be at me and the second one be at Bryn? Because
Okay.
And a streak of lightning comes out. It's okay, I rolled really
It
poorly.
is the lightning bolt. So, half damage on a miss?
Honest miss, yes.
Okay.
Well, and half on my hit.
I'm back to being bloodied.
So lightning isn't at all considered fire, correct?
No.
Okay.
Nice try.
Hey,
Just
man,
wanted
he's
to
been watching
ask.
a lot of The Last Airbender, alright?
So is that 12 or 11?
11.
Half.
For,
Okay.
Are you half damage?
Evasion.
It was evasion, and it was a successful hit, so it takes half instead.
11, yes.
Okay.
Also, Seitz, I'm going to put this up for you because I didn't count it last time.
Also, I'm
He
bloodied.
does have a fire shield up. Just keep that in mind.
Also, I'm
Okay.
bloodied.
This puts Lilith on deck.
Yep. Okay, so my my action is going to be that I am going to use Shield of the Faithful on myself. Hopefully it'll go up there. I think I can use it on myself. If it'll. Oh, no, it's other than me. Okay, so I'm going to use the Shield of the Faithful on Isgrim. Or not Shield of the Faithful, Radiant Defense, sorry. Wrong one. And then as my bonus action, I'm going to move the spiritual weapon next to this guy and attack him.
Roll it. "29 hits.
12 points of force damage.
Perfect.
Now, I can't flank with a spiritual weapon, right? My own spiritual
That is-
weapon.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That's why I didn't worry about moving it into flanking position, but and then that'll be it. I'm not gonna move.
Narroth.
All right. So at this point, I'm looking at a fireball spell, and its descriptor says that it ignites anything that isn't being worn or carried. Would this extend to the boat that we're on as well?
Yeah, I don't think the boat will catch on fire. I think it's well protected unless your intent is to target it.
That is not my intent, but that will definitely also be caught in the blast radius.
Now that you mention
Sure.
it, I would like to set the boat on fire.
Yeah, so unless you're specifically trying to set the boat on fire, for the intents of this fight, you're set. You're okay.
Okay. Cool. In that case, Narroth is going to call down a fireball from the sky to basically plummet right next to Bryn Wanders, and it's going to engulf everyone at 20-foot range, which is basically everybody who's on that side of the boat,
What the
plus
hell?
this guy in the water. Sorry, what was
Sounds
that?
good to me.
How?
And don't you have the ability to not hit your allies or something?
I do. However, you guys are all resist. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna use careful spell with my meta magic points. Let me go ahead and roll that fireball, and all the ones are counted as 2s, and anyone who would have resistance.
You have to roll to attack.
Well, Dex defense.
Yeah, so roll Dex defense. Let's start with the monsters, and then if your allies automatically save, we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So top one first, this one, and then the one in the water last.
All right. Gonna shoot off 3 of those spells.
Hits. And we'll take the damage you took for the first one.
Can you take the second
What
one?
about the second?
Damn.
Alright, I'll give it to you. I'll take the second one.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Because it's going to hit us for half damage.
It is.
And there was no ones in the second one. There was 2 ones in the first one.
I'm saying he's hitting us with it as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. This is going to put me close to being down.
Now, point of order. At second level, you use your channel divinity to cloak your allies in radiant armor. As an action, you channel blessed energy into an ally. The first time the ally is hit by an attack within the next minute, the attacker takes radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus cleric level.
Oh, shit.
You can't control if it's an enemy or an ally.
It does not say that.
It just goes off, bud.
That's funny.
You just fucked yourself, too.
That's funny.
Okay. Narroth is also going to grant Stone Aegis to Astor. I'm gonna private message Astor what that does, but basically his armor kind of gets dusty and it looks like it turns to stone a little bit. And he has
Right.
resistance to some damage.
So we have 20 damage on the 3 allies, and then 23 on Narroth.
Ow.
Wasn't
Loss is
intended
bloody.
for you.
Okay.
Sorry. And you wasted it for me. It was supposed to go on the undead.
It is what it is.
I didn't know that this was going to happen. I'm guessing most of us didn't know that this was going to happen.
Well, Bryn
Well,
told you
our
to
mistake.
attack the spellcaster.
Is this on your turn, or can we move on?
It's just a reaction to it. It's still your turn.
Okay. So I grant Astor Stone Aegis, and that will end my turn.
Cool, let's knock off that 20 health from the fireball.
I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Remember, also overcomes fire resistance because of the elemental affinity.
I know. I already took it.
Okay. That leaves
then
us.
I'm dead.
You took 20 damage, correct?
You
Oh,
only
because
take
I
20.
save. Yeah.
No, I have I have fire resistance. That's what Chris was talking about.
You all have fire resistance.
Well, I have super fire resistance.
No, you don't.
Iskrim, the one in front of you was burned to a crisp. You are slightly also burnt. Also, you were filled with holy light, and then it was ejected from you. It's a very confusing situation.
Iskrim takes a moment, like half a second, to look, and determines that there is another enemy that he can get to, and so he moves. I can flank! Alright. Now, Iskrim is still in a furious rage, and he takes a deep breath, and the air around begins to cool, and he exhales, and you can see his breath puff out like fog in front of him, and for a quick second, a burst of sleet pelts this particular bad guy, and he takes, it's 2d10 damage.
Yeah,
from
to
my,
roll to hit him?
he has to roll a dex saving throw according to what I have, but I think that changes in your rules, right?
Yeah, so I think we established last time that it's a +8 to a d20 roll.
Sounds familiar.
It's good enough. That's enough to kill it. Want to describe that for me?
Yeah. So that was his aura, his tundra aura. Actually, it's a specialized aura. But basically, as he breathed out, his breath, that was the fog, turned into the tiny bits of sleet that literally just flew straight through the air at this guy and stabbed him.
Sounds good to me.
Now my question is, because that was his aura that really did the attack and not him making a melee attack.
I believe the aura cost a bonus action to use.
Right, but does that drop his rage now? Because there's nobody else he can get to in turn.
For one, you took damage, so that will keep your rage up regardless of this thing.
Okay, sounds good.
You still have a standard.
I do still have a standard. I'm going to go ahead and cash that in for movement. Iskrim sees the other undead coming towards us, so he readies himself by getting to the place where he can attack it as best he can. And that will end my turn.
Cool. This puts us to Zarrius. Now, Zarrius, I want to remind you that he has Fire Shield up and Mirror Image.
Okay. So, as a bonus action, Zarrius is going to cast Shillelagh. So what happens is that you see a little blue light enter into his staff, and then it kind of glows and then disappears. And Zarrius is going to blow a raspberry at this guy and run away. And he's going to cast an entangle spell. I will have to draw it, but I'm going to probably suck at drawing it.
You have the spell card for Entangle?
Yes, hold on. Give me one moment. Oops. It was going to be that. Hold on, let me pull it up. So I have to roll. Do I take an attack of opportunity from this guy when I move away?
I'm going to veto this. If you read the actual description.
Okay.
Grasping weeds and vines spout from the ground.
Okay.
There's a ground way under all that water.
Okay, well then the entangle spell is on the bottom of the ocean.
Well, because he's a master of the elements, can't he use the water to use the entangle?
I'm vetoing this.
Oh man, seaweed and kelp, that was my plan.
Oh, that's a good idea. Seitz, give me an argument for why you should cast the spell.
Because if it was seaweed, it would be dope.
So you want me to give you an argument why I should cast this spell, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason I would cast this spell is to try and get him to break his concentration that he might have on other things that he might be focusing on, such as his mirror image, and as well as preventing him from possibly doing some things for
Read the
future.
chat.
Make seaweed and kelp work. Make seaweed and kelp look cool. Do it.
So you're wanting me to just describe how it works? Okay.
Explain why the spell would work in the water.
Oh, okay. So Zarrius would see that there's seaweed on top of the water, and he would grab it, and essentially it. What is the description? So these seaweed then makes like extra seaweed come up and make it difficult terrain, and would grab him and restrain him, which seaweed can do if you get into it too deep.
Ugh. Okay, roll it.
So this is a spell casting roll? Is that
Correct.
Seaweed wraps, man. Seaweed wraps.
a 20?
Sure, that'll do. He will be restrained. Cool. End of turn?
Yes.
This guy is going to dash for his action and put himself back on the boat. And then this one will attack Astor twice.
Both miss.
Perfect. And this one's dead. Bottom of the round. What would you like to do?
Are we gonna keep spinning the boat?
I mean, you guys are going to start being in seaweed.
I mean, we can maneuver the boat around the seaweed. I don't think that would be a problem.
I'd be down to do that.
Yeah, because that'll get Astor within melee range, and Isgrim can be in melee range with the mage.
I mean, they'd still have difficult terrain.
Right.
I can see the boat going over the seaweed and not having difficult terrain. but the boat itself may require more movement to get closer. If that makes sense.
That's fair.
The boat has difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Sure, I don't care. I'll hit him from wherever, so it's up to you guys.
I mean, yeah, you can stand on the back of the
Doesn't
boat.
matter.
So, closer?
Yeah.
Something like that. That does bring you good news, though. This guy starts climbing the boat, but gets stuck in the vines. Why don't you go ahead and give me a strength roll? Zarrius, casting roll.
Guessing, okay.
Yeah, so he's going to get stuck on the side of the boat, basically. And then this guy will appear on the other side.
Oh, hey, bud.
I guess there makes more sense based on the hex. That brings us to Astor.
Is, what's his name? Is Conrad still 10 feet up, or is he within range of me? For an attack.
Repeat that.
I'm just asking if Conrad is still is he within melee range of me, I guess?
Sure.
He is, okay. Astor's going to take one hit at the guy in front of him and then one at Conrad.
Cool. Do the one in front of him first.
Yeah.
23 hits.
Cool. I will add a first level Divine Smite. Plus the D8 because undead.
I'll do it.
And then, oh, it's gone?
Yeah, for that guy is.
Oh, okay. And then, second attack at Conrad.
Cool. Roll a d20.
Just a regular D20?
Yes. You hit a duplicate.
Huh.
Go ahead and roll that attack.
Okay.
$11 might not break the duplicate's AC. The duplicate is still alive.
Okay. Alright.
You also take fire damage.
Right.
Yeah, but if you hit a duplicate,
I think it's because I'm within range.
isn't fire shield only if he hits him with a melee attack?
That's true. You didn't actually hit him. That's fine. Take your 13 back. I'll give it to you.
Okay. And then, as a bonus action, because he can tell she's pretty hurt, Astor is going to use a bonus action to cast Healing Word on Lilith as a second level spell.
You're going to get counterspelled.
I won't roll it then.
He sees you about to point in the direction of Lilith, and his hands shake, and the spell dissipates from your hand, I guess, or body.
Well, what Astor does is as soon as the light breaks from his hand, he turns the hand towards Conrad and flips him off.
Okay, you still expend the spell slot.
Yeah, I know.
Bryn
And that'll be
wanders.
the end of my turn.
Thank you, though. That made him use his reaction.
That is true.
Okay, I'm going to start off with a bonus action trying to clear a misfire. Yay.
Does it?
Okay, so Bryn is facing forward towards the mage, but what she's actually going to do is now that her pistol no longer is jammed, she's actually going to point it behind her while holding down the trigger, and then she's going to kick her foot up, hitting the hammer with the heel of her boot and firing at the guy behind her.
Roll it.
And I'm actually going to add the trick shot on the torso to try to push him back with this.
Good plan.
I won't cast that. I'll just roll the thing.
17 will hit.
Okay, he's pushed back 10 feet.
Does he also take damage on that one, or is
He
that
does.
the one that
He will take damage. Then after kicking her heel back, she'll actually flip her pistol forward and back in the holster and take her rifle out and shoot the mage, or at least attempt it. Shoot one of the mages. Do you want me to roll the
Roll a
d20
d20,
first?
yes.
Oh,
Nice.
crap. I forgot the command.
You hit a duplicate. Go hit.
Yeah, I hit a duplicate.
One duplicate goes away.
How many does he have remaining?
2?
There's 3 of them, so 2 more plus himself.
Okay.
He is realizing he is restrained. He is going to Misty Step 30 feet this way and apparently cast a cantrip. Seems like his cantrip is Firebolt, which he will... I guess he'll throw an Astor didn't hit him. Bryn did.
This is true.
I think he's going to aim for Bryn.
Is this a spell attack?
This is a spell attack, yes.
That has disadvantage.
That is correct.
No, that misses.
Okay, and he's gonna plop himself right there. Lilith.
Okay, real quick, do I know whether or not undead can be affected or be affected by slow?
I don't see why they couldn't be affected by slow.
Okay. So I'm going to take his counter spell right out of the fucking game. Hopefully. So it would be a wisdom saving throw, so it's a spell attack against his wisdom defense.
Roll it. It's up to 6 creatures. He's going to choose to save.
Does he has legendary fucking resistance?
That's correct.
Son of a cock.
But you
Is that
can
what
affect the
all
other
sons
2.
are.
It's a very good question.
I'm sorry, a rooster is not my father.
But you can slow, what, 2 more?
Every undead.
Within a 40-foot cube. Are you going to be able to hit the back one?
No, I won't. I won't
Cool.
be able to hit the back one.
Go ahead and roll.
Oh, yeah, I gotta roll again.
Let's say this is the one on Iskrim, which will fail. Or, no, sorry, wrong stats.
I was gonna say 15
Oh no,
don't,
they're dumb as hell. Never mind, sorry.
15 don't hit wisdom defense on a zombie?
Yeah, 15 will hit this one, and the one on the side is, yeah, restrained and slowed.
Okay, well, I tried. And then I'm going to, as a bonus action, just heal myself. Healing word. I'm going to do it at spell driver. I think it's 3rd level.
2nd level.
Yeah, only one of them can be 3rd level or higher. Okay. Nice.
And you have a move. You would like to do that?
Can I spend my movement to just move my spiritual weapon? It won't attack, just move it?
I'm going to say no. I'm sorry.
Okay. Nope, that's fine. So then I'm going to, as soon as I put these hit points in, I'm going to move within 5 feet of Isgrim.
Sounds good to me. Nos?
All right. Narroth is going to go ahead and cast another fireball, this time on the big bad.
He is going to counterspell that.
Okay.
He can't counterspell that. He's already counterspelled once.
He took a turn before.
Turn.
No, because he... Oh, right. He counterspelled Astor.
Okay. Yeah, so that will be his turn.
Narroth is going to quicken spell a firebolt and attack the zombie guy in front of him. That one.
Okay, just from a meta sense, this guy is restrained on the side of the boat. He's pretty effectively out of the fight. If you're going to fireball the one on Isgrim.
Okay.
Unless you want to like bend over and try to fireball him.
Okay. What's the state of the guy on the far side of the ship? This one.
He is in the water, but
Okay.
he will climb back up.
I'm just going to send the firebolt right at the big bad, actually.
Roll d20.
Hey, he gets to hit
That
the
hits
bat.
him. Yeah.
Cool.
Roll the hit. $13 will miss though.
Shoot. Oh well. That's my turn.
Isgrim.
All right. Isgrim yells a barbaric rage and attacks the guy in front of him. Twice, because he gets 2 attacks. But it looks
12 and 10 will miss.
both miss. Okay. And now my next question, I should have asked this before I actually did the attack. Because I missed, that drops my rage, which I don't get to use the bonus action to make that attack, right?
No, so rage means you have to attempt to attack, I believe.
Right,
So
you
you're
have
set
to
to
make
get-
an attack.
You have to make an attack or take damage. One or the other.
Okay, alright, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack his dex to see if he gets hit by my aura.
Against Dex, he's going to
Yeah. He's gonna save? Okay. And that's it. That's all he's gonna do.
Sorry, serious. As a note, this guy up top is in the water if you want to focus him. Because this entangle is technically difficult terrain for you.
Yes, I know. Can I just get rid of it? Would that cost me a turn or anything, or what?
It's a free action, but it's also going to allow this guy to do something.
Well, he's slowed.
That's true.
I would like to get rid of the entangle spell. So I let go of the seaweed that I was holding on to, and it dissipates. The seaweed kind of goes back into the ocean. Or the lake, I mean.
Cool.
Perfect. I move here, and try to attack him. Do I need to roll a d20 to...
Yep.
Okay.
You hit a duplicate. Roll to attack.
Okay. This is with Shillelagh.
Sure. It goes away.
One more duplicate.
2
Okay.
down.
I try to attack. I take it, I need to roll another d20.
That's correct. Yeah.
Actually, that roll is off. It was a 2. He should have hit the boss. He rolled a d20 plus 8. It should just be a straight d20 roll.
Sorry, I'm looking at the 16 for the d20 roll.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed something. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just rolling 1d20s.
2 plus an 8 was for Iskrim.
Yeah, I see that now.
But yes, you hit the other duplicate if you want to roll to hit it.
I would like to roll to hit it.
It pops.
Cool. And since I attacked technically 2 different people, I can take a third attack.
I call bullshit, but I'm gonna allow it.
Why?
It's the same target. It's not
But 2 different versions of him that look exactly alike.
that occupies the same square.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Roll it.
I will roll to attack with Shillelagh.
That hits.
And I take 2d8 fire damage from the shield.
13.
So 6. No. Yes, 6.
And roll concentration.
Just let me and Narroth do it.
By the way, you guys have been taking the 3 off every turn, right?
I just did. Does he need to roll any sort of concentration? Okay.
He succeeds. No, but 15 plus 9 would have done it. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna stay right there.
Cool.
And I'll try to throw my whip at this guy
Roll it.
if that does anything. Hold on one second.
He's going to save.
Okay.
Okay. This one is going to dash, put himself back on the boat.
Hey, bud.
This one is very slow and is going to attempt to attack Iskrim. So he gets 1 attack. Roll 20. While this is loading, this guy is going to start to climb the wall, but because he's slow, he doesn't quite make it to the top. This is against Iskrim. So, 11.
Does not hit.
This guy's starting to go. This one's dead. This one's dead. Yeah, I think that covers everyone. How would you like to move the ship?
Forward.
I'm guessing it's so that Astor can get in range.
Yep.
Something to note. Zarrius is in the way.
Evasion.
He's a monk, man. He can do a flip.
Ramming speed.
We know he's in the way.
Make him do an acrobatics check.
Alright, go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check. I want to come up with the DC. Oh, that doesn't.
I don't think it matters.
Hey. Oh, that was awesome.
That was fucking cool. I'm sorry.
Rule up, cool.
I'm gonna put you there.
Okay.
Astor, no more ads.
Oh my god, I'm laughing so much. Alright, I'm gonna try and shit on this guy. Not literally, obviously. Attack him twice. Do you need me to do a d20 or is that done?
That is done.
Welcome.
Cool. Hmm.
19 what?
Ooh. Alright, level 4 Divine Smite. Oh, that's depressing. But anyways, at the...
He is undead.
He fails.
So he fails his
It
concentration.
didn't actually roll.
Huh.
Yeah, it didn't roll.
There we go.
You
Oh,
lucky
anyway.
son of a bitch.
Anyways, that's just an extra 7 as well because of the undead 1d8. And actually, he's going to do another one for a defensive flourish. So he does 7 extra damage and his AC goes up by 7 as well.
I don't think you do the extra damage on a defensive flourish.
Is it? I know I wrote it down. Hold on. I'll put it up.
I believe you just get the bonus to AC. Because the offensive flourish allows you to do the extra damage.
You can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target you hit. The damage equals the number you roll on the Bardic Inspiration die. You also add the number rolled to your AC until the start of your next turn.
Alright, good enough.
Well, anyway, second attack. Ooh. And I still have enough to do another level 4 Divine Smite.
Really?
Yep.
Impressive.
I've been keeping track, I swear.
Ouch. He's still up.
So, wait a second. How much damage was that on the second attack?
A lot.
It's 15 plus 27, so
Plus 6.
42. Plus 6 is 48.
He did not save on his concentration check.
Okay.
It's
His
half the
stone skin
damage.
goes down.
What about
Cool.
Fire Shield? Is that concentration as well?
No.
Do I take
Nah.
damage from that?
So we'll just roll both of them together. Take 14 fire damage.
Minus 3. And let me roll concentration before I forget. $15?
Rolled again, because technically it would have applied twice. Sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
should've-
fair. I still
I
take
should have
damage.
done that. That's true.
Ooh.
But that one
Nope.
goes down.
Yeah, so everyone loses heroism.
Okay, well, he loses stone skin, and it's Bryn Wander's turn.
Hey,
Fuck this guy up.
hey. All right, I'm gonna start off with attack with the pistol over over Isgrim's head
On who?
It's doable.
on the big guy.
That hits.
All right, as a bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot him again. Oh,
Want to describe it?
oh,
Yes!
No!
All let me get my grit back. Hold on. Okay, so
Yeah, because that's the important
that's the important part.
God damn it.
So stylistically, while since there are no turns in combat, it all happens at the same time. Isgrim is swinging his war pick at the guy in front of him, and while he has the shield up and the pick is coming down, Bryn shoots through basically the shield and where Isgrim's arm is, and that little gap in between, right between Narroth's horns, and into the face of Mr. Conrad.
Mr. Conrad.
Yes. Like right between the eyes there.
So this is a killing blow, but because he's undead, he sort of, he goes back. The bullet goes through his head. Finally, now that his stone skin is down, looks up and goes, "Thank you." And he seems to, I don't want to say obliterate, but he kind of turns to dust, and he seems to head back towards the moon, upwards and towards that direction.
Bye, birdie.
Yeah, what happens to all the undead?
Did nobody else hear my joke?
Bye, birdie. Fly me to the... Sorry.
Good.
Okay, what happens?
I don't know.
We're all a little broken right now.
For those of you who don't understand the joke, the character Conrad Birdie is a character from the musical Bye Bye Birdie.
We're just gonna end combat here.
Hey,
Disappear.
I love Chris is just adamant, like, this is bullshit.
all right, it's over.
Ugh.
So I'm guessing they all go away the same type deal? Okay.
So, my cinema. Okay. So, as Conrad seems to turn to this dust, there are two things that seem to be left behind. He has a pair of bracers that fall into the water, as well as his staff.
Somebody want to grab those? Somebody want to grab those?
Is Astor able to try and catch those as they're falling?
Astor doesn't have the hands for it.
Narroth will just transform into a water dragon and go down and grab him.
Zarrius is literally walking on water, just
and he moves at the speed of sound.
He moves at the speed of avoiding a fucking boat.
Why would we spend all this time like casting spells or like you literally just walk right over? I'm so tired. Why do we play this late?
Because it's fun.
Exactly. Because you get dumb jokes like Bye Bye Birdie.
Okay, sorry. Items, water, floor, not floor, ocean, not floating. There we go.
Not ocean too.
Narroth is gonna change into a water dragon and just grab him off the ocean or the lake floor, lake bed.
Perfect.
Bryn is going to sit down.
Lilith is just gonna go, ow, cure wounds.
How is Astor not bloodied?
He wasn't attacked by the rogue fireball.
Right.
That is true.
Well, I think he wasn't in the cone of cold either.
At the very beginning. That's true. He did miss a lot of the
That's
big ones.
better. That's much better. Still bloody, but only by a little bit.
All right. Perfect. Combat over.
Yeah, so Bryn is just going to slump down and start reloading her guns.
I look, pull out the spyglass and look to the shore. Does it look like the undead is gone on the shore as well?
So both through this and the Eyes of the Eagle glasses, you can see that the undead aren't leaving, but there isn't any more being added to the fight.
Okay, so I holler out to Shadrach. Oh, not Shadrach. Yeah, because I know where you got that from. From
The Bible.
Shaq, Rack, and Benny.
They work in the plan.
Take us to shore.
The bunny.
Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Dang it. Okay, so they begin to head back to shore. By the time you get to shore, it takes about 45 minutes, which is enough time to use I'll give you enough time to use the healing kit, if you'd like to do that, which will restore a quarter of your HP in about an hour, but we'll let it happen.
How big a boat is this?
It's fairly small. I mean, it's to scale for this thing.
I'd say it's roughly
80 feet, 85 feet,
How wide is it?
10 feet, 15 feet,
20 feet.
20 feet.
Okay, so I tell everybody to move towards the front of the boat, and I summon my cart and give everybody a healing kit. Because I have 7 of them on my cart.
Jesus. That's
Damn.
fine.
Actually, Astor politely declines because for some odd reason he was not hurt too badly this time.
Everyone else is cussing at you.
Well, I give it to you anyway to have, so you have it.
Remember, a healing kit has 10 uses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, in this case, Astor thanks you kindly.
Narroth is going to use this healing kit. Remind me that a hit dice on a short rest. Is that correct?
No. It will heal a quarter, so it heals half your bloodied value rounded down,
Okay.
technically.
So that's 25 for me. Oh, I feel better.
I'm literally at the same hit points I was when we started.
I'm a little bit above.
I am definitely above.
So when we do get to shore, I'm going to have everybody follow me towards the king again, and we tell him that Conrad has been dealt with. It was Conrad, and I guess we help fight undead until they're dead.
Cool. So, I will actually cinematically do the scene a little more. As you guys approach, most of the undead have been dealt with. There are a few stragglers. And as you look among the corpses, as your boat begins to hit that beach, you do notice that there's an assortment of both recently deceased as well as the undead creatures. And it seems like at this point a group of people are carrying bodies of old dead and new dead alike. Another thing to note that in the coming down the river, finally, we do see some of the lanterns that have been lit.
Okay.
You approach the king and the queen, who are, for the most part, just kind of licking their wounds and majestically licking the wounds. But they're being patched up by a couple people, and they see you approach. I'm guessing this is your guys' doing?
The guy that was in the middle of the lake, he was Conrad. His form was summoned, and we did battle with him and slain him.
Conrad is in the folklore?
Yes.
That's not possible.
Well, I'm telling you what he told us. He even thanked us for sending him back to his rest.
And why was he here?
I have my suspicions. Have you heard of the Wounded King?
Actually,
No.
he seemed to imply that he was sent here by Adam, which was somebody we met on the moon.
Well, I was getting there. The person ultimately behind the Wounded King is an entity named Adam. He is of the void, and it looks like his magic is what summoned these undead.
Can Astor see any form of recognition on the king and queen's face when they hear the name Madame?
No, I mean, well, mostly what you see is fatigued, but
Okay.
there's no, like, reaction beyond, I'm tired, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't strike a chord at all.
Okay.
As they're finishing up, I say, we will help in however we can. If you could point me towards the healer's tent, I will lend my aid in whatever way I can.
Well, you're a priest, is that correct?
I am.
We have some priests in this town, but quite a bit of them died in battle and are taking care of their wounds. It would be great if perhaps you can give some last rites as we prep the bodies for burning.
Okay.
Well, if possible, Your Grace, I'd be more than willing to lend some manual labor on my behalf. I was rather fortunate in this fight to not have been hit too hard, so I'd be more than willing to use my excess energy.
Are you a musician?
I suppose I am, yes.
Maybe manual labor is not where you need to be. Maybe you should be helping with their spirits. Why don't you two, while we collect the bodies and deal with the rest of them, why don't you two prep the last rites and we can give it to everyone as the moon is at its fullest?
Sounds good to me. I guess we have a little coordinating to do, Lilith.
I don't think the moon is what you want to be doing the last rites on, she says while lying down next to them.
If we could do last rites at dawn, and I know this is a little deception, and I said that I wasn't going to, but I don't believe we should do it under the moon. So I'm going to just basically say, my goddess would rather have it done during the light of day than during the dark of night.
The candles are out now. To be the most respectful for the dead, it would make sense to do it while the candles flow down the river.
Okay.
Narroth is going to look forward at them. If you'd permit it, I'd care to dispose of the last of these things coming to battle us. I need the time to clear my head.
Yes, we imagine everything should be wrapping up now, and we'll be taking care of the bodies. We'll say 2 hours before we prep last rites, if that is okay with you, 6.
Sounds good
Yes,
to me.
that should be okay.
Yes.
Thumbs up.
And how does Lilith and Astor prepare last rites?
Well, I coordinate the pyres so that all the pyres are in the same sort of area. And I prepare the rites of Arathis in the only way I know how. She's the god of civilization, so I'm I'm thinking. I don't know.
I mean,
priest.
you can. I mean, we can take some time to prep it. But I'm thinking like, do you go somewhere to start prepping it, or do you do anything like that? And then we'll give you a few minutes to actually do the last rites.
No, basically, I just make sure that the area is clear of anything that's not a body or a pyre.
Okay. So let's give everyone a few minutes to describe what they're doing for the next 2 hours. We don't want to go too in depth, and we probably don't want to go too far from this area as well. But let's just go down the list. Let's go, Astor.
Okay, so
hold on. Can I go first?
Sure. This is just in between giving the last rites, though.
Right. As part of my preparation, I ask Astor if he could play not a funeral dirge, but more of an sort of soft, somber melody, so that it's more of having the dead peacefully pass over into the land of the dead, rather than a minor chord play a major chord, basically.
Pickety third. Perfect.
well, anyway, Astor is going to take Lilith's suggestions into consideration. He's actually going to take this very seriously, so he's going to spend pretty much his whole time coming up with what he feels would be most appropriate to accompany Lilith's last rites. He'll probably start off with some stuff that's actually a bit more somber at first, but then it would transition into a more peaceful sounding melody. And then I guess if we want to use major minor, it'll kind of start as minor and then do just a little bit of wandering around different tonal centers as Lilith is doing her speech, and then towards the end make it something that sounds more like a resolution type of thing with, I guess, the pickety third Chris talked about, ending with like a nice little major chord towards the end. Never getting too loud, just being a good, I guess, foundation to have Lilith's voice float over whatever he's playing.
Perfect. Narroth?
So Narroth is going to spend most of his time trying to hunt down any of the zombie creatures that still remain, taking them, burning them, turning them as much into dust, as much as a funeral pyre as he can. He's trying to go at this more from a form of respect rather than anger, trying to give them a kind of a second send-off as graciously as he can for something that's trying to kill him.
Iskrim?
All right. Now, for the townsfolk that were killed, their last rites, does that involve, are they going to also be on a funeral pyre, or are they going to be buried?
Everyone is getting burned, for lack of a better way to put it.
Okay. So for the first hour, Iskrim is going to be out with others, grabbing bodies, bringing them back, helping get them laid out and prepared. And then for the second hour, he's going to go out and he has a hand axe, so he can't really like chop down trees for wood, but he can grab wood and he can clean it and prepare it so it'll make for good funeral wood.
Perfect. We'll go with Zarrius.
For the first hour and a half, I would say I would be probably helping doing some sort of manual labor, even though I probably wouldn't be too effective at doing it. I would want to just help out in any way I possibly can. And for the last half hour, he would obviously be thinking during that hour and a half what just happened and how the party got into this situation and whatnot. So as he is processing everything, he thinks about why the party came here, and would like to approach the king and queen if possible, if he can find them.
They're rather busy, but they can probably spare a couple minutes.
Your Majesty.
Yes. Hi.
I kneel in a gesture towards
At
him.
ease.
And sir, I was wondering if you know of any information that I might be looking for. Were we just fighting on Lake Lacarum?
That's correct.
I have been told that this water has some magical properties of some sort. The main reason for my party coming to this place was to possibly collect some of this water. I was told that it was really good for fighting against this wounded king that we are fighting back on our home continent. Is there a special place that I would have to get this water, or is that just anywhere in the lake that I might be able to get this?
I mean, the lake is rumored to have magical attributes. It's really hard to know for sure. We don't do much with the lake besides for festivals such as this. But if you come by tomorrow after we get some sleep, maybe we can work something out.
I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your guidance and leadership today. It was very inspiring.
And we appreciate your help. We don't have much of an army. We just have a lot of people who have a desire to defend what Vienna represents. And it is nice that even strangers are willing to help defend against very clear evils in the world.
We were more than happy to help. We have experienced those evils in other places throughout our stay on this continent, and we do not appreciate them one bit.
I'm sorry, but we have a lot of things to take care of. If you come by tomorrow, I would love to hear more about what you're trying to do, but now is really not the best time.
I totally understand, sir. Anything that my party can do to assist you in any way further, we would be more than willing to assist.
Yeah, thank you, but I think you are doing enough for tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And I'll bow and walk off.
Cool. Anything else?
Real quick, I also want to just sort of get a group together so that when we light the pyres, they're all lit at the exact same time.
Sure.
And as I say my last word, they light up.
Perfect. Seitz, anything else?
No, that was going to be all from me.
Perfect. Bryn wanders.
Okay. Initially, as everybody disperses to go do whatever it is they're doing, Bryn just stays laying there on the floor with a cold pack on her head. After some time, she'll lift it up a little bit to kind of peek out and make sure that everything is still okay. And she spots on the lake a cluster of lanterns as they come down the river. A cluster of 5 lanterns, which look kind of familiar to her, probably because they belong to her teammates. After following them as they float down and into the lake, she'll her eyes will widen a little bit, and then she'll get up and walk over to the teleportation circle that's at the beginning of this, wherever it is in this area, to go back to town.
You find it.
Okay, so teleport back to town, go back up to the little lake that is by the town, and find a lantern that is made to look like a flower. That's probably a little bit worse for wear, that got beat up during the scuffle that happened. And she'll pick it up and kind of look at the little breaks in the wood and see if she can fix it really easily, fix what she can, and then find a nice quiet place, a tree or something that is within the town but away from people. And she'll light the lantern there in front of her and place it down on the ground, maybe expecting that something might happen like she heard, but not surprised when nothing does. And she'll sit down in front of it, take out her compass, flip it open, and orient herself so that it's pointing forward, and just sit there in silence for a little bit before she starts to hum to herself, and maybe eventually, if she's isn't disturbed, falls asleep.
There's enough ruckus in the town. I mean, people are still being mended, supplies are being taken to the teleportation circle. You're probably going to awaken.
Okay. But she'll just stay there with her lantern and her compass and be with them.
Perfect. We fall back towards Lake Lacarum, and a pyre has been set, or to be lit, as well as the arrangement Lilith has requested. You see Astor there, getting last-minute tunings on his instrument, and Lilith gives her last vows.
She goes, "We give them back to you, my lady, who you first gave them to us. And as you did not lose them in the giving, so do we not lose them in the return. Life is unending because love is undying, and the boundaries of this life are but a horizon, and the horizon is but the limit of our sight. Lift us up, strong lady, that we may see further. Strengthen our faith, that we may see beyond the horizon. For this, and for always, may you bless us."
And these lanterns go off to the lake, and the pyres are lit, and we see the backdrop of hundreds and thousands of lanterns, and for the briefest moment, we see what is like a ghost. We see lost loved ones, we see water genasi, we see fire genasi, but up in front of it, seemingly to be walking towards the coast, we see familiar faces. We see Ryan Yaldwin, we see father figures of everyone. And at this last moment, as we're about to fade to black, we see the ghostly figure of a shadow dragon leap up into the air and starts flying out towards everyone, and we will fade to black here.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for this week of the Low Rollers Live. We do stream every Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, so feel free to join us here on Twitch in order to catch us as we play live for you all. We also will rebroadcast on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, just in case you don't want to stay up as late as we do with D&D. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be doing after the rolls, our Low Rollers Live post show, and talking specifically about Lady Lilith von Kiln. So stay tuned for that. Refresh your page because I'm going to restart the stream, and we'll see you there in just a few minutes.